Hi, 5th grade. This is Mrs. Gyoko with your flipped math lesson for today, 6-7. Today's objective is that I can find the hidden question to solve multiple step problems. So today's problems aren't necessarily going to be just multiplication problems. They're going to be multiple step problems using all sorts of operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So here's our first question. Okay, and I didn't write the whole question. I just wrote down some of the important parts because the question was really long and I didn't have room to write it. So I'm going to read the question for you. It says, for 3 months, a 5th grade class held a fun fair to raise money for charities. The funds are raised in the table that's shown here on the screen. If the class divides the money equally among 30 different organizations, how much will each organization receive? So you can see that in September, the 5th graders raised $435. In October, they raised $460. And in November, they raised $605. Now, at the end, it said if the class divides the money equally between 30 different organizations, how much will each receive? So we got to figure out what it's asking us to do. It's asking us, well, how much will each receive? Our important information is here on the graph. We can see how much they earned each month. What's the hidden question, though? Well, we figured out what we know. We figured out what we asked to find. What's the hidden question? Well, the hidden question that it doesn't tell you what to do is how much did they receive in all? So what is the total cost, or what is the total that they were able to save? And then you need to figure that out in order to figure out the problem. Okay? So if you add it all up, you're going to get to $1,500. Let's double check and make sure. So our numbers were 435, 460, 605. Let's add that all up. 5 plus 0 plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. So they earned $1,500. So that was the hidden question. That was the hidden part of the problem that you had to figure out to do without it telling you. Add up all the numbers and then divide it. Okay? So they earned $1,500. And it says if they divide it between 30 different organizations, how much will they each receive? So we're going to take 1,500 and divide it by 30. So remember how to do this. If we have numbers we're dividing, both have zeros at the end, we can go ahead and take off a 0, and then we get 150 divided by 3. So I'm going to first divide 15 by 3. That equals 5, and I'm going to annex that 0, and I get 50. So each of the organizations is going to get $50. We can double check and see if 50 times 30 equals 1,500. 50 times 30, and if equals 1,500, then we know that we have the same, we've gotten the right answer. So 5 times 3 is 15, and then annex the zeros, $1,500. Okay, so we got the answer right. Your turn. See if you can find the missing part of the problem. Nick wants to put 11 movies on an 8 gigabyte memory card. Each movie is 0.25 gigabytes. He's already used 4.3 gigabytes. How much free space will he have left over after he puts the movies on the card? Go ahead and try to solve the problem, and then we'll go over it together in just a minute. Okay, let's see what the question is asking us. We need to find out, well, how much free space will he have left over after he puts the movies on the card? So after he's put the 11 movies on there, and since he's used them, how much will be left after he's done with all that? Our important information is that he's got 11 movies, and each one is 0.25. And you can see that important information was separated. It's pretty far apart. 11 times 0.25 is what we're going to use to figure that out. We also know that the card is 8 gigabytes big. and that he's already used 4.3 gigabytes. So that's the important information we're going to use to solve the problem. His card is 8 gigabytes. He's going to put 11 movies on there that are 25 gigabytes apiece, and he's already used 4.3. So we're going to have to subtract all those numbers to find out what the answer is. So here, right here, is the hidden question. It didn't tell you to multiply, but you had to use your smart thinking to figure that out. So I'm going to go ahead and start subtracting the numbers that are not too hard. So I've got 8 minus 4.3. And since I know that 8 is the same as 8.0, I'm going to go ahead and put that there to make it a little bit easier for me to see. Okay, so I have 10 minus 3, or 0 minus 3, can't do that, so I'm going to have to borrow a 10, and 10 minus 3 is 7. I do bring the digits, the decimal points down when I'm adding and subtracting, not when I'm multiplying and dividing, but when I I'm adding and subtracting. Now 7 minus 4 is 3. So he's got 3.7 gigabytes left, but I need to multiply 11 times 0.25 and then subtract it from 3.7. So 11 times 2.5, or I'm sorry, 0.25. My mistake. Multiply that. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 1 is 5. Go next door to the next digit over. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Add up the partial products. We get 5, 7, and 2. And there are 2 digits after decimal points. We had to put 2 digits after decimal point here. So 3.7 minus 2.75. Don't forget to line up those decimal points and subtract. Remember, there's really a 0 there, so I can go ahead and put it in there if it makes it easier for me to subtract. I've got 0 minus 5, which you can't do, so I'm going to borrow and change that to a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. And I had the same problem. I can't subtract 7 from 6, so I'm going to go borrow. 16 minus 7 is 9. And then I'm done with my subtraction because 2 minus 2 is 0. So 0.95. And then don't forget your units. 0.95 gigabytes is what he would have left. Here's another one. See how you do on this one. A 3-pound, LB stands for pound, a 3-pound bag of apples costs $3.75. A 2-pound bag costs $2.58. If you need to get 6 pounds of apples and spend as little as possible, how should you buy them? So it's asking you, like, how many bags of each should you get if you're supposed to get 6 pounds of apples? Go ahead and give it a try. See what combination would work best, and then we'll go over the answer together in just a minute. Okay, so the problem is asking us, how should you buy them so that you spend as little as possible? Okay, I had to take a moment to talk to some of my kids that were screaming at each other. So I'm not sure where I was, but I can see that we looked over what the question was, and we need to talk about the important information. So we know that a 3-pound bag costs $3.75. A 2-pound bag costs $2.58, and you need to get 6 pounds spending as little money as possible. So you have to decide, are you going to get, if you're getting 6 pounds, then that would be either 3 pounds times 2 bags, or are you going to get 2-pound bag and get 3 bags of those? Okay, so you're either doing the 3-pound times 2, or you're doing the 2-pound times 3. So the 3-pound bag costs $3.75. The 2-pound bag costs $2.58. So this one is the 3-pound bag. You can get 2 of those, and that'll equal 6 pounds. Or you can get, sorry, I'm going to write that down. It costs 6 pounds. Or you can get the 2-pound bag, which costs $2.58, and you can get 3 of those. And that's going to equal 6 pounds. But you want to get whichever combination is going to be the least. So you got to multiply and divide and compare. So it doesn't tell you in the problem that this is how you're going to figure it out. This is that missing step. Okay, so let's do the multiplication and see which is the cheaper combination. So we have $3.75 times 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. There are 2 digits after a decimal point, so there need to be 2 digits after the decimal point in the answer. And this one is $7.50. Okay, so that's one combination. Or you can do $2.58 times 3. So let's try that. 3 times 8 is 24. Carry the 2. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So this combination is $7.74. So it's cheaper to get the 3-pound bag, get 2 of the 3-pound bags, than it is to buy 3 of the 2-pound bags. So that's what you would want to do. You would want to buy 2 of the 3-pound bags. And then that will give you the cheapest combination. Okay? All right, well, we are finished for today. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Don't forget to get your homework signed by your parents so they'll know, or so that I will know that you did it, and then tomorrow you'll get credit for it. Thank you so much. Bye.